Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we are continuing meditation of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a lecture number 4, I think, isn't it? I think number 4. Today, this is up to the management. I'm not. So in last 3 days, we were speaking about various things. The appearance of Lord Chaitanya, the original reason why Lord Chaitanya appeared. We spoke about different incarnations. Yesterday we spoke about different incarnations. Lord Chaitanya's Channa avatar, the hidden avatar, and all different pastimes of Lord Chaitanya's appearing as Krishna to different devotees, or as Vishnu in his Mahaprakash Lila, 21 hours sitting on the altar and displaying affection to his devotees. So today we will speak about one other secret incarnation which came with Lord Chaitanya together, also incarnated. And this is the holy name. Adi-līla, Krishna avatar. We spoke also a little bit yesterday about this, but now today we'll speak about the holy name, because Lord Chaitanya appeared with his Sangha Upangastra Parshadam, his Parishads, his close associates, his devotees, but also his weapons. And one of the main weapons of Lord Chaitanya's, you can say, preaching is the holy name. So Kali Namarupa, Krishna avatar. That Krishna actually, in this age of Kali, incarnates as the Hare Krishna mantra. So this is also Krishna. And the reason is, Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagata Nistar. This is the second part of the verse. It says, simply by chanting the holy name, one associate with the Lord directly. So this is also Krishna. Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is association with Krishna. We were speaking how when Krishna appeared, Lord Chaitanya revealed his Krishna form, Sadbhuj form to Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya fainted. Then he reveals other forms, and whenever Lord revealed the form, people faint. Not because of the, some bodily inconvenience, but because of the great ecstasy being in the presence of the Lord. They could not contain their composure. So in the same way, actually associating with Krishna is the same by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So theoretically, when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, we should also faint. Not, of course, faint, but we should actually experience the Lord directly. And therefore, Rupa Goswami, who is, of course, we know, a very special devotee in the line of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spoke this verse that when one chants the holy name, there's so much taste that one thinks, oh, I want to have thousands of mouths and thousands of ears to hear the holy name simultaneously. One is not enough because of the great experiences, the great ecstasy of association with Krishna. It is said here, one who chants the holy name not just, we will chant the holy name, but this automatically this person will give up all material sense enjoyment and develop pure love for Krishna. This is the verse also in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So by chanting the Hare Krishna, somehow or other we'll become disinterested in sense gratification. And as a result, by being disinterested in sense gratification, we'll slowly start developing love for Krishna. Yesterday in Linz we had a little discussion, and the conclusion is that we have to be patient. Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadeva ki Jaya. Because nothing will come immediately. In the material world, we want everything now. Now we have this 5G, which means we want faster, now. We have Amazon, now, I want now. I'm waiting 2 days for my delivery, I want it now. So therefore they compete to do more and more, faster delivery. And soon we will have drones delivered to our door. We just order and in 2 minutes the drones are bringing our packages. And we will still be thinking, no, I want faster. Because the reason is the lack of tolerance and lack of patience. We cannot tolerate inconveniences anymore, and we are not patient at all anymore. So therefore, when we start practicing spiritual life, we chant a little while and this doesn't work. Give it up. I find something else. Works immediately. Instant. We want everything instant, now. So this is not this kind of quality is not helpful in devotional service. Devotional service we have to practice, as Rupa Goswami said, utsaham nishchadarya tat karma pravartanat. With enthusiasm and patience. Patience has to be there. Because the holy name is not different from Krishna. We'll speak a little bit about this and why people do not experience ecstasy when chanting the holy name. So we spoke also the verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam where the Maharaj Parikshit said, Shukadeva Goswami said, Kalir dosha nide rajan. My dear king, this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Dosha nide. Imagine this big ocean full of faults, and you're sitting on a beach, relaxing, then you swim a little bit, this full ocean of faults, enjoying this thing and that thing. Full of faults. There's no single thing which is good in Kali Yuga. But Astiheko Mahanguna, actually there is one thing. And this is Kirtanameva Krishnasya. That this chanting of the holy name is the only good thing. When you go to a shop, people who try to live healthy, I read this one article once. And then the one doctor who is like a natural doctor and this and that. And he said, when you go to the supermarket, he said, there's only one section you should visit, and this is this fresh produce. And usually fresh produce is in the beginning. He said, the rest of the store, don't even go. Because there's nothing good there for your health. Nothing. So in the same way, in the Kali Yuga, there's so many things, but we should just keep this corner. We should visit only this one corner where the holy name is being chanted. And this is what we should do. So, some other quote from Srimad Bhagavatam is that the holy name is very, very powerful. Just like association with Krishna is very powerful. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, tomorrow I think we'll speak about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching engagements. When he traveled to South India and he preached to various people, like Sarabhama Bhattacharya and some others, Prakashananda Saraswati, that he actually, Lord Chaitanya, by association, by people seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they just become pure devotees. Just by seeing it. Imagine. It's the power of Vaishnava because Lord Chaitanya played the part of a Vaishnava. I've heard at least 2 or 3 stories. Then when the illustrious devotees, ISKCON devotees were preaching and the people saw him first time, regular people on the street, and they become so attracted, and they, by looking at this devotee, couldn't start following, and then they became devotees, just by seeing a devotee on the street. So this is so powerful. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know, of course, he's not different from Radha and Krishna in that sense, so, but still, he played the role of a devotee. So Krishna's, associating with Krishna, is like a big axe. We have a Lord Nrsimhadeva's axe here. And this huge sword, this is a new sword, isn't it? The new sword now, what he has, is very, very, very big. You know? So, you know, it's a huge sword. Of course, for Nrsimhadev, this is, you know, not a big deal. But this is, the Harinama Sankirtan is like a big axe to cut the knot of sinful activities. So when we see this sword, we just think, oh, this is actually, Harinam is this sword, this very sword. He has an axe, Nrsimhadev has axe and sword. Or sometimes club, you know. So with these weapons, actually, Harinam is more powerful than these weapons, because this Harinam can destroy the hard knots of sinful activities. We know that this famous story, there was this knot, big knot. Somebody made a huge knot. And I'm not sure exactly which king, I think Alexander, I'm not sure. He said, whoever unties this knot will achieve, I don't know what. So people try, and no, he will achieve a kingdom. I think that was Alexander. He just took a sword and cut it through. And this is what it is. Because the material world is so complicated. In the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is described the material world is like activities in the material world are like a banyan tree. We know in India, anybody been to India and seen the banyan tree? It's confusing. Is this a tree or branches or grass? We don't know what it is. Because the roots are going from up. How does the roots going up? You know, they're all hanging and it's confusing. So the material world is like a complicated banyan tree. Nobody knows where's the beginning, where's the end. We spoke about karma the other day, 2 days ago I think. That this is so complicated that we cannot understand. You know, and therefore we are wondering in this life, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. You know, why is this bad thing happening to me? Krishna, why did I deserve this? I'm actually a good person. But if you look, hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes of our activities, this complication what we have done, so we'll be not surprised at all. Oh, actually I deserve it. You know. But this is so intertwined and complicated that we cannot understand. Only really who can understand is Yamaraj and his faithful scribe. What is his name? Chitragupta. They know. Chitragupta has a little laptop, you know. And whatever we have done during the lifetime, everything is in files. You just, oh, what is your name? Just Sacinandana. Okay, let me open the file. Click. Files open. He did this. Oh, I see. So therefore, you should go to this and this lower planet or whatever, you know, I deserve. So this is the karma. But with this Harinam Sankirtan, just like with the sword, we just destroyed. No more karma. Nectar Devotion described in the very first chapter that the devotional service is so powerful that it immediately destroys karma. Confirmed. Just like this. You know. From the millions of previous lives, it's just destroyed. Because karma is also manifest karma, unmanifest karma, and karma in the form of seeds. You know, we may have done something very bad 300 lives to go, and this seed stays in our heart and waiting to manifest. But the devotional service burns that also. So only what is left with devotional service is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is this body what we have. This we cannot change. We cannot say, okay, now I'm a devotee, I want to grow wings. Why not? I'm a devotee, I'm free. No, prarabdha karma still stays. And Krishna uses our prarabdha karma to purify us. We have certain problems with the mind, or problems with whatever, And Krishna uses this to devotee to purify devotee. So the holy name. So it is said that the age of Kali is so special that people from previous yugas want to take the birth in this age. They want to have the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna and preach the holy names. So people are praying, we know the Kali Yuga is terrible, but this thing I want to be. I want to assist Lord Chaitanya in preaching mission. And also they know that by the chanting of the holy name, this process is actually very, very quick, very fast. This only for the people in Kali Yuga are very impatient and intolerant. And for us, we think, I'm chanting 3 years and I'm still not pure devotee. What's going on? I have to repeat this story. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard, one devotee told me, that there was this devotee, Indra Prabhu, who was musician, famous kirtan player. And one day he said, this Hare Krishna mantra is useless. I'm chanting so many years, and there's so many promises in the Shastras. When one chant, develop love of God, this, and he said, I got nothing, and this, I'm not going to chant anymore. He put the bead bag on the how you say, nagel, whatever. Nail on the wall. I'm not chanting anymore. It's not working. So he went to sleep, evening time, and at night, Lord Chaitanya came to him in a dream. And he said, Indra Das, get your bead bag and finish your 16 rounds. I've heard from the second source, but the story is very nice, instructive story. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you finish your 16 rounds. We have to be patient. We have to be patient. Patient with Vertrauen is trust, confidence. We have to be confident. This is what Krishna said is true. You have to be confident. So, and even people from other ages, which, meditation, 60,000 years, Valmiki Muni was meditating. Imagine 60,000. That's a many hours of meditation, He would sit and meditate, And after this, he finally realized, of course, the whole Adi-līla. But it took him a long time. Who can sit here 6 years and meditate, Nobody. We have to immediately feel something. How many times the devotee says, but I don't feel anything when I chant, Yeah, this will come. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that the inhabitants of Satya Yuga, imagine, this is millions of years before, and other ages, people are eagerly desiring to take birth in the age of Kali. So when we come, we have some, people born in a devotee family, as we spoke also this, and after, 6 years old, they immediately pray Mridanga, pray kartals, pray harmonium, chant, and you wonder, how is this possible? I'm struggling, and there's some kids. They know everything. This is because they were praying in previous life, please, I want to be born in Kali Yuga, to assist Lord Chaitanya's mission, participate in this wonderful process. And Krishna fulfilled. So, to come back to the holy name, in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Adi-līla, there's a very, very famous verse. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalam nastyeva, 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 eva gatir anyataha. This is from Brihad Naradiya Purana, the quote. And in this age of Kali, translation, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nastyeva, 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 nastyeva. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way except Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. And Kevala means exclusively. Nothing else, exclusive. So this verse is like using exaggerated, points so many times, the same thing. Kevala means nothing else. Kevala Ananda Kanda, we know the song. So Kevala means this is it and nothing else. And what is this it? What is this? Harinama. What? Harinama. What? I didn't hear it. Harinama. 3 times. The holy name of the Lord. The holy name of the Lord. Not 2 times. Sometimes we don't hear. Say, no. Harinama. What did you say? Harinama. 3 times. And then Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva. 3 times. There's nothing else. No other means for self-realization. Nothing. Prabhupada says here that the word is repeated 3 times. Actually, this is next verse. Krishna's Kaviraj said, the word is repeated, eva, certainly, 3 times, because it is an emphasis for common people to understand. Because common people, us, we are the common people, Kalav Shudra Sambhava, we have a, thick brain, very thick brain, a thick skull, doesn't penetrate, we hear, we read so many things and still somehow or other difficult to understand. We read, 2nd chapter, Dehinas minyata dehe kaumaram yavananjara tatta dehantara praptir dhiras tatyana muhyat. The one, this is just, body is just changing from birth to youth to old age, and one should not be disturbed. Dhiras tatyana muhyat. But we are still disturbed. And we hear it so many times. We read, and we know this verse by heart, auswendig. And still something happened to us, we are disturbed. Oh, why is this happening to me? Or I have a, whatever, some red thing on my, what is this? This is just the influence of the 3 modes of material nature. We should not be disturbed at all. In the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, there's description of a great devotee of the Lord who had somehow some disease, the maggots, these little worms, into his skin. This is horrible, I actually seen one devotee had this, one Mataji. And the skin and the worm falls out of this wound, and this devotee feels so compassionate, because if the worm falls out, it will die hungry. So let me put him back. Imagine. This is not on a bodily platform, He didn't think this is my. When Haridas Thakur was beaten by the Muslim Pathans, soldiers, with sticks, it must be hurting, like they were beating, bam, bam. And then Haridas Thakur would not die. So they were like, man, what should we do, So they said, Haridas, can you please die, because... And Haridas said, why? He said, because if you don't die, our ruler will kill us, So you have to die anyway, so better die. And Haridas said, oh, okay, he felt compassion. Okay, I will die. So this is a person who is not on a bodily platform. So, therefore, Harinama, 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 Eva Kelan, 3 times, the holy names, the holy name, the holy name. This is the process. Also, sometimes in the Hare Krishna movement, devotees get sidetracked. We read from Purana, whatever Purana, Brihad, this Purana, that Purana, that one should fast, or one should eat. During the Kartik, one should eat whatever, only this, or one should avoid 4 types of tastes during the Chaturmasya, and we avoiding 4 types of tastes, which is helpful. But Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. In Hare Krishna mantra is everything. All the austerities are there, all the tapasya, all the meditation, everything is in there. There's no need for anything else. This faith we should have. The holy name is everything. And for us in Kali Yuga, holy name is more than everything. This is our life and soul. So, Prabhupada says, our Krishna consciousness movement stresses the chanting of the Hare Krishna only, whereas those who do not know the secret of success of this age unnecessarily indulge in cultivation of knowledge, which is jnana, meaning reading many shastras, studying. And by studying, they engage themselves in this, as Prabhupada called neti philosophy. Neti neti means this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not. So we say, oh, this is not, this is not. This is what one philosopher, German philosopher, Martin Heidegger says, this is a negative freedom. You want to be free, but you want to find, negative freedom is what I'm not. How am I not free? So therefore we have this red revolution in Soviet Russia. We have to stand up against the usurper, the Tsar, and his thing, because we are oppressed. So once we remove our shackles, we'll be free. So this is a negative freedom. We are against this. So once then we are free. People are rebel against the society. Young people like to rebel against the society. They dye their hair in blue. I am free. I can dye my hair in blue. Or whatever, we have different ways of expressing our rebellion. But this is all negative freedom. This is, as Prabhupada says, unnecessary indulging in cultivation of knowledge, practice of mystic yoga even, or performance of fruitive activities or useless austerities. Useless austerities. We go to Himalayas barefoot, walking in the snow, doing some huge meditation, and then we get this mystic power. And then we know when we see somebody, say, you are this and that. We saw in the pastimes of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there was this one great yogi, mystic yogi. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur came and he immediately knew, you are Bhaktivinoda and you want this and this and that. He knew he had this mystic power. And this is nothing extraordinary. In the Nectar of Devotion described as eight Ashta Siddhis, 8 types of mystic powers. And they are much, much bigger than just reading mind. Or foretelling your future, Or in the future you will be this and this and that. So, this is all unnecessary, as Prabhupada says, useless activities. Useless. Practice of mystic yoga. Performance of fruitive activities in so-called karma kanda, that we do something with the aim to gain something. Because we know if I do this pious thing, I will get benefit in either in this life or next life. So we are doing some charity work or whatever with the goal of, I know if I build shelter for the homeless people, next life I will have shelter myself, or whatever. There's a prescription in the Shastras. There's a karma kanda, meaning karma. We want to enjoy the fruit of our activities. But this is all unnecessary. Prabhupada says they're simply wasting time and mislead their followers. And Prabhupada says, when we point out plainly this to an audience, the members of the opposing group get angry at us. And the reason is not that we are thinking we are better, because this is the nature of the material world. I'm better than you. And there's a nature of envy. Material world is full of envy. But the reason is because this is actually a good process. This is the best process. So when we are, I'm a Hare Krishna devotee and I'm telling somebody, this is nice what you do, but try this. And this person thinks, you think your religion is the best. It's not my religion. This religion is the best. And I'm somehow happen to realize that this is the best, so I accepted this kind of religion. That's the actual situation here. Nothing to do with me. I'm not born in India. I'm not born in whatever, Krishnanagar near Navadvip. But I saw when I was young, I was reading and I thought, wow, this is actually the best philosophy. And I accepted. And many of us did exactly the same. So Prabhupada says further. But according to the injunctions of the Shastras, we cannot make compromise with these so-called jnanis, yogis, karmis, and tapasvis. So, sorry, I like to say, like nowadays there's this democratic, mentality. We all have rights to say, we all are right. The truth is called not anymore objective truth, but your truth. This is my truth. This is truth for me. This cannot be. If it's sun and you said, no, it's actually dark, this is my truth. This is silly, this is ridiculous. But people actually indulging in it, and the society is supporting it. It's amazing. But this is your truth. This is my truth. You should not. And if you say against it, they say, oh, you're disturbing this person. But objective, Prabhupada says here, listen to this sentence. This is one of my favorite sentences in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. When they say they are as good as we are, we must say that only we are good and that they are not good. Not politically correct statement. This is not our obstinacy, it is the injunction of the Shastras. This is the key here. It is the injunction of the Shastras. It's not that Prabhupada thought we are the best, The Shastras say this. Because the Shastras confirming, we're speaking, the statements we are making are all based on Shastras. When in the 1960s, there was this famous, even in Satsarup Maharaja's Srila Prabhupada Adi-līla, the astronauts apparently landed on the moon, and there was on television. At that time, television meant, supreme truth. There was no, they could not imagine that television doesn't say something which is not truthful. And then, and Prabhupada says, no, they didn't go to the moon. And then one devotee, his disciple, even left the movement because of it. So how you didn't? I saw it on TV. What do you mean they didn't go to the moon? And Prabhupada, what is his answer? They did not go to the moon because this is not supported in the Shastras. Moon planet is described, Svargaloka is described as supremely opulent. Indradev lives there. Indradev would not live in the planet full of dust and rocks. So they never went to the moon. This is number one. Second, according to Shastra, you cannot go to the higher planets in this body. This body is not made to survive in the planet in Svargaloka. So therefore, again, supported to Shastra is not possible. So this is how we argue. This is how we make statements. The Shastra says. So, come back to the holy name. Actually, come back to the Shastras. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, you can say, influencing Prakashananda Saraswati, Prakashananda Saraswati could not understand where are you coming from. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, study Srimad Bhagavatam very scrutinizingly. Then you will understand the actual meaning of Brahma Sutra. Because even the Mayavadi philosophers, the school of Shankaracharya, they're very much studying or supporting Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, given commentary by Shankaracharya. But Lord Chaitanya said, no, Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the commentary of Vedanta Sutra. Study Srimad Bhagavatam, then you will understand. So this is a little bit about the holy name. We're going back to the holy name now again. Not only study Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Chaitanya said, Nirantara Kara Krishna Nama Sankirtan. This is a famous verse. Hela Mukti Pabe Premadana. Always discuss Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. In this way, you'll be able to attain liberation very easily, and you'll be elevated to the enjoyment of love of God. Pabe Premadana. Prema is a very important word in our sampradaya. Our goal is prema, Krishna prema. Because Lord Chaitanya came to give Krishna prema. Krishna prema predayate. He wanted to give us Krishna prema. So, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name of the Lord, we will easily attain liberation. And devotee we know is not interested even in liberation. Because devotee wants to be engaged in Krishna prema and pure love for Krishna, loving relationship with Krishna. Okay, so there's some other nice verses here. Lord Chaitanya from Chaitanya Bhagavata. The day before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, we know Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and this was a very stressful day for many residents and Lord Chaitanya's associates. So much so that they could not find, first of all, barber to cut Lord Chaitanya's hair. How do you cut Lord Chaitanya's beautiful hair? Beautiful curly black hair. I wouldn't, nobody dared to cut Lord Chaitanya's hair. So Lord Chaitanya then ordered, they found one barber, and he did not want to do it. And he was and there was a whole drama. There's this beautiful painting. Actually, I saw it recently in this summer in the Samadhi area of Lokanath Goswami in Vrindavan. And there's this painting. Lord Chaitanya is standing and everybody's fainting because they cannot imagine. First of all, they could not imagine that Lord Chaitanya takes sannyas. Because if Lord Chaitanya takes sannyas, that means he will go away. How can anybody live? But then first of all, before even taking sannyas, they could not imagine to cut his hair. Anyways, at this moment, dramatical moment, Lord Chaitanya said, sing the glories of Lord Krishna. Agya kare Prabhu save. Krishna gao gya. Bala Krishna, bhaja Krishna, gao Krishna nam. Krishna vinu kea kichu nabaviha an. So sing the glories of Krishna. Say Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Worship Krishna. Bhaja Krishna. And chant Krishna nam. So we should always just say Krishna. In famous pastimes of Gundicha Marjana, when Lord Chaitanya and his devotees were cleaning the Gundicha temple, because Jagannath goes from temple once a year, from his temple on a cart, and he stays in Gundicha for some time and then returns back. So devotees are cleaning the Gundicha temple with so many buckets of water and cleaning very thoroughly. This is a very, very beautiful pastime. And then after some time, devotees became so ecstatic, it is described in Caitanya-caritāmṛta, that they did not speak Bengali anymore. They would just say, Krishna. And he said, if one devotee would need a bucket, he would go to another devotee and he would say, Krishna. And the other devotee would understood. He would understand, oh, he wants a bucket. And he would say, Krishna. And he would give him the bucket. So, we should come hypothetically, to this position that we walk in the temple and we just said, Hare Krishna. And the devotee said, oh, Hare Krishna. And we understand each other. This is the goal. Krishna Gao Gya Bala Krishna. Gao Krishna Nam. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described when you sneeze, devotees were sneezing. And in America they say, bless you. Whatever that means. In Germany they said Gesundheit. But devotees said, the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says that when devotees are sneezing, when they are slipping on the road, they should utter Krishna's name. So this is the instruction of the Shastra. So next time when you sneeze, shoo, Krishna. Next time when you walk and slip a little bit on the mud, Krishna. This is the instruction. So, say Krishna, worship Krishna, and chant Hare Krishna. So we're worshipping Krishna, we're chanting Hare Krishna, and we're saying Krishna, Krishna's name. This is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. Then, think of nothing else except Krishna. This is the next level. We also spoke this yesterday in Linz. Karmana manasa vacha. We have to worship. When somebody takes sannyas, theoretically, this person should be engaging with Krishna with karmana, manasa and vacha. With karma, with activities, whatever this person do should be only for Krishna. With vacha, with speech, only speak about Krishna, and manasa. This is a difficult one. To only think of Krishna, nothing else. You know, if you try, I did once experiment. I chanted Hare Krishna, and with my right hand, and with the left hand I had a pen and paper. So every time I catch my mind thinking of something else, the mantra, I make one strich. You know. So you chant, then you, oh, I'm thinking of something else. One. And then I remember, first time I chanted, there was like 40. 40. It's like, oh my God, what is this? So then, then you train your mind to actually, in the end there was much less. But how difficult is, and this is the chanting Hare Krishna, what to speak when we are not chanting. Our mind is going all over the universe. We are thinking of this and imagining ourselves, whatever we imagine ourselves, and think about this cheese, parathas, whatever we think of, wonderful things in this material world. But think about Krishna only. This is difficult. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whoever is reading this Bhagavad Gita discussion between me and Arjuna is worshipping me with his intelligence or her intelligence. So this is one of the way to think always to Krishna, to read about Krishna. Because when you read about Krishna, naturally this will come out, whatever is in your heart. How is it? What is out of mind, whatever. Out from our heart, whatever is, it comes out ultimately. Sometimes you see when some person speaks and they say, oh, I saw this on internet, I saw this on Facebook. So we can see what person is reading, Because this is, you cannot, it's a computer, in the computer world, this is known as a program or whatever the system is called, garbage in, garbage out. Meaning the computer is just a neutral machine. So whatever you feed the machine, this will come out. It cannot come out something else. Now we have this scandal a little bit with ChatGPT or whatever, this latest artificial intelligence, that because they put all this woke so-called information, about the equality and everything. So somebody wanted to, somebody put the, you know how this works? You put a text and the picture come out of this text, And they said, draw a picture of a Nazi soldier, and it comes out a black person, Because there's a woke culture that we should be equal, black people are equally present everywhere. So this is just one ridiculous, people are ridiculing this everywhere. This is how we garbage in, garbage out, So if we have in our own computer, in our own mind, we feed the garbage, it cannot come out anything good, Some good, yes, So therefore, karma na manasa vacha. Think of nothing except Krishna. So now Lord Chaitanya said, if you have affection for me, do not speak about anything other than Krishna. That's the thing. Nothing else except Krishna. There are some devotees I can imagine. I did not have association, some senior devotees, and I tried to imagine how would they speak something that is not Krishna, and I cannot imagine. Saying this person, I cannot imagine that he will say one word which is not connected to Krishna. I was thinking, wow, this is actually amazing. So, if you have affection for me, Lord Chaitanya said, do not speak anything about other than Krishna. Now, even getting a little deeper, whether you are sleeping, eating, or awake, both during the day and night, only think of Krishna and speak about Him. So eating, okay, we can listen lecture while eating. What else? But sleeping, how to think of Krishna when you sleep. This is the next level of advancement, because usually when we sleep, there's a switch, coma time, and that's it. We don't, maybe we remember a dream. I was kind of dreaming something, but I don't remember. Especially if you eat pizza in the evening, cheese, then you dream all wonderful things, Somehow pizza induces good dreams, So, but to think of Krishna even while sleeping, this is next level. So this is the quotation from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So now about the holy name, I want to speak a little more. What is actually the holy name? And to understand what is the holy name, we have to stand. First of all, as I spoke first day, what is Krishna? His incarnations. And in this age of Kali, Krishna is not one but five. Sometimes people come to in front of the altar and they, you said you worship God, but there are like many people there on the altar. So who are these people? Especially in Mayapur, we have five. Five gods, but it's actually one God. How is this possible? So Pancha Tattvakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. This is a famous verse from Caitanya-caritāmṛta. It explains actually the Pancha Tattva. So Pancha Tattva Avatirna Chaitanyara Sange Pancha Tattva Lana Karena Sankirtana Range. This is the verse. This is very nice. I like this Avatirna. The verse Avatirna. And that's actually, this Pancha Tattva, these five personalities have incarnated or came, advented with Lord Chaitanya together. And thus the Lord execute his Sankirtan movement with great pleasure. So they are actually all non-different from Lord Chaitanya. So we know Nityananda, Advaita. Nityananda is Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Balaram himself, as you said, incarnated as Lord Chaitanya in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, is Nityananda, Nitai. Brajendra Nandana say, Jaya Sachisutta Hoilo say, Balaram Hoilo Nitai. The Balaram became Nitai, and Brajendra Sutta, the darling of Raja, Krishna, incarnated as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Incarnated or came down, descended. Then we have Advaita Prabhu. We know Advaita is also Vishnu Tattva. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda, Sri Advaita Sita. This is the song. These three are Vishnu Tattva. But then we have internal potency, Gadadhar Pandit. The Gadadhar Pandit is a little more complicated. I don't want to go too much into it. But it's a little more complicated who is Gadadhar. They said this is incarnation of Radharani devoid of the luster. Because the luster, Lord Chaitanya took the luster of Srimati Radharani. And Gadadhar Pandit is actually Radharani without the luster. And this is very intricate and I would say difficult to understand. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur worshipped Gaur Gadadhar. We worship Gaur Nitai or Gauranga, and Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur worshipped Gaur Gadadhar. So this is difficult to understand how Gaur and Gadadhar somehow or other connected. But we will not speak about this at all. So no question even. Therefore, Prabhupada says, our obeisance to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are complete when we say Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. So this is who Lord Chaitanya came to be, not just one person, but all these five, but not only these five, plus Gaura Bhaktavrinda. All the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada says, as preachers of Krishna consciousness movement, we first offer our obeisance to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when we chant Hare Krishna in the morning, first we chant, Prabhupada says, Pancha Tattva mantra. Then we chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the reason for this is because when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, why are we not immediately experiencing the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness? Why are we not immediately experiencing Krishna prema? Is because 10 offenses. 10 offenses. I will not go into the 10 offenses today. But therefore we chant the Pancha Tattva mantra before, and this, Prabhupada says, this Pancha Tattva mantra nullifies all the offenses. So therefore we chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. In the Pancha Tattva mantra, the offenses are not considered. There's no offenses, which is very nice. Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Mahavadanya Avatar, and he does not consider offenses of the fallen souls. He just thinks, water under the bridge, as they say. This is just some silly Kali Yuga person. I don't take it seriously. And we also, when we preach, somebody's, and we just, okay, we know. This is just Kali Yuga people. We don't take it seriously. This Hare Krishna is a secte. I was in Köln during the Corona time, and by the inconceivable mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everything was closed, all the bars are closed, everything. I was not allowed to have any meetings on the street, but religious meetings was allowed. So we went to the police and we got permission, and we had a Harinam 3 times a week, and nothing else except us. So people had nothing else to do but to listen to Harinam. And I had a book table, and I was standing at the book table. People would come, you speak to people. And one old man came, older man, not old, but older. I'm old in this category now already. Older than me. And he said, this is Hare Krishna. I said, yeah, it's Hare Krishna. He said, seid ihr eine Sekte? Are you a sect? Are you a cult? And I said, actually, we were a sect in the 90s, but now we are not anymore. And he said, oh, really? And he was all interested. I said, yeah, this was before. Now we are not sect anymore. And he became more interested, and he took book in the end. So this is the attitude of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You don't take seriously people in Kali Yuga. They don't know what they're talking. They don't know. They speak because they heard from somebody this sect. They don't even know what secta means, actually. If you ask them, define what the cult is, they will not know. But this is, they wouldn't know. So we don't take people seriously. We take people seriously if they want to physically harm us, whatever, We will have 500 gundas throwing bombs and shooting. Then we will take it seriously. But otherwise, if somebody comments some weird comment, we just don't take it seriously. As even Lord Nityananda, or a devotee of Lord Nityananda, was going door to door preaching, because Nityananda was famous as preacher, door to door. There was this song, it was a Gware Giya. Go door to door, preach Krishna consciousness. So Lord Nityananda would go, he would knock at the door, and the people opened the door, there was nobody. And he would close the door. Then again knock, they would open, no. And then he looked on the ground, Lord Chaitanya would roll. Hare is rolling the ecstasy, rolling on the ground. He could not contain himself. And then this devotee was going, and he went to the Muslim magistrate, and he said, knock at his door. He said, please chant Hare Krishna. And this person said, I'm not going to chant Hare Krishna. And he said, you just did. You just did. Just keep on doing it, So this is what we do. We preach. I have to repeat again, the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his times, there was the 2 articles in newspaper. At that time, newspaper was the news information, source of news information. So he would read one article which was very unfavorable towards Gaudiya Math at that time. And he would read, and he said, very nice article. So next article, very favorable. The guy would be very friendly, and he said, the Gaudiya Math was... And then Bhaktisiddhanta said, this article is better. The one who was criticizing Gaudiya Math. And the devotees would say, why? I mean, they're criticizing Bhaktisiddhanta because if you count how many times they wrote Hare Krishna, many, many times more than the other articles. So this is the better article. So this is how Lord Chaitanya looks at things. All this is just, garbage. When we cut vegetables, we throw all this garbage out and we keep the essence. This is the essence of the fruit or whatever. So this is how Lord Chaitanya look at things. Offenses are not considered, and therefore we chant Pancha Tattva Mahamantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Prabhupada repeats again, to derive the full benefit of chanting with the Mahamantra, then repeats the Mahamantra, one should chant the Panchatattva mantra. He repeated himself again 3 times. So again, for the people, for the dull-headed people of Kali Yuga, yes, Maha Mantra is good, wonderful, but Panchatattva Mantra is a must, because by chanting Panchatattva Mantra, the offenses are not considered. So, Prabhupada says, we must take shelter of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, learn the Panchatattva Mantra, and then chant the Hare Krishna Mantra. That will be very effective. So this is the effective way to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada gave this instruction very clearly. So therefore all the devotees, when we chant in the morning, we chant Panchatattva Mantra. We first chant Prabhupada's Pranam, because the mercy of Guru is even more merciful than Panchatattva Mantra. It is said that Lord Chaitanya was Mahavadanya avatar, the most merciful incarnation of all avatars. Of all avatars, we spoke yesterday, so many avatars. And Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful. But Lord Nityananda is more merciful than Lord Chaitanya. How is this possible? And the Guru, spiritual master, is more merciful. So this is amazing. We have the most, and the mostest, whatever we want to call this. So there's no end to the mercy we received in Kali Yuga. Okay, so let's see. Now we are 8:50. We want to speak a little bit about Lord Chaitanya's dancing. You know, we like to chant Hare Krishna mantra in the morning. Then we have a kirtan, you know, as we call it bhajan, we sit. But Lord Chaitanya apparently here were dancing a lot. Their kirtan in the Navadvip at that time, early days, you know, early movement of Lord Chaitanya, there was lots of dancing going on in the house of Srivas Thakur. I will speak tomorrow how the first kirtan started, how first preaching started from Srivas's house, and then the doors opened and everything, and the Hare Krishna mantra, preaching of the Hare Krishna mantra spread throughout Navadvip, and later on, when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he traveled throughout South India and preached the glories of Krishna. And now we also sitting here by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching. But in the beginning, there was lots of dancing going on. So Lord Chaitanya and his associates danced not in a uniform fashion, you know. They actually danced pretty wildly. When I came here first time, 2010, in this temple, I was the most impressed with the kirtan here. If anybody has been here, these kirtans, the Sankirtan festival, this was outrageous. You know. Devotees were, let's put it wild, but there's more than that, dangerous. Maybe. This was the more, I thought, wow, such a kirtan, you know. Devotees would, maybe one day we'll repeat it, you know, in our own place, you know, in time, far away from women and children. It's a little bit violent. So brahmacharis, they take each other by the hands, like a one line, you know, and the other group from here. And they crash into each other, and everybody falls, and they're stepping on them, and very, very wild kirtans. And that was going on and on and on, and spinning and pushing, and it was very, very, like really wild. Wild, I don't know, how do you call it, dangerous or violent? So, something similar going on in the house of Srivas Thakur. Of course, there's more transcendental, you know, because sometimes we sing, or, you know, in a mode of passion, use our passion, youthful passion. You know, the Sankirtan devotees, they work very hard, standing on the street with his books, you know, tolerating insults. No, you are nonsense, get out, verschleidig, whatever the people said. You know, and on them, they come here finally at home, you know, they can relax after 1 month of hard work. So they just let it go. You know. So this is similar to this, Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Bhagavata said, "Oh brother, please hear attentively the Lord's transformation of ecstatic love, which are unique throughout the innumerable universes." So as Lord Chaitanya danced in ecstasy, the devotees sang in ecstasy. So everything was just on ecstatic times. So this is what went on. This was one day, there was the Ekadashi day. They were all fasting and having extra kirtan. So they were chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vishvambara began dancing from the time of sunrise. You know, Udilo Aruno, Pura Babage, Dvijamani Gora, Amani Jagi, I think. On the horizon, the first sunrise comes, Lord Chaitanya with his Sankirtan party is already there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So Lord Chaitanya started dancing at the time of sunrise, so early. And devotees sang sweetly in various groups. So we know even in the Ratha Yatra, there were 7 different groups with different mridangas and all different kirtan leaders. And each group had appointed the dancers, the different people who dance. So everything is organized in kirtan. You are the dancer, you are the singer, you are mridanga player. So one group was headed by Srivas Pandit, another group was headed by chanting of Mukunda. You know Mukunda was a great singer. Sanjaya Mukunda Vasugosh, Sanjaya Mukunda Vasugosh Adi-līla. This is when we sing Gaura Aratik. Mukunda was there. Another group was headed by Govinda Ghosh, Vasugosh's brother. He was a great musician. All the devotees chanting during the dancing of Lord Gaurachandra. So, what happened? The dancing, of course, Nityananda was there and Advaita. They were always fighting somehow or other in a great loving relationship. And Lord Nityananda somehow grabbed Advaita and took the dust of his lotus feet. Stole it, the mercy. And of course, Advaita was not happy about this. But still, they became, with tears of love, they bathed each other. And they became absorbed in ecstasy of the Lord's kirtan. Whenever the Lord cried, you know, in the ecstasy, Lord was crying. And so he would cry for 3 hours, non-stop. Who can cry for 3? Kids, they cry about 30 seconds, you know. They cry, oh! I call it the bittere tränen, you know, the bitter tears of the child, you know. Such a very huge problem, you know, because they cannot get what they want. But they cry 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and it's finished. Their mind occupies something else. And we may be sad, they cry maybe 1 hour, but Lord Chaitanya cried 3 hours. Imagine, non-stop. His hair became untied and scattered on the floor. Because we know Lord Chaitanya, it is actually in Chaitanya Bhagavata also, it says that Lord Chaitanya was tying his hair in a knot. And this is how Lord Chaitanya Nityananda looked, actually. And if you see these old deities, you know, which are made in Navadvip, I know when I came first time, 90s, the deities always had this knot, actually. Because this is how Lord Chaitanya Nityananda actually looked. They had this knot of hair. So Lord Chaitanya would cry, but the Lord, his hair would be scattered. And if he would lay on the floor, with beautiful hair, would lay on the floor, scattered. Only a person whose heart is made of wood would not become overwhelmed and fall to the ground upon seeing the Lord's crying. So imagine what's going on. Lord is crying, everybody else is crying. Then when Lord would laugh in ecstasy, he would laugh for 3 hours. For 3 hours of laughter, ecstatic laughter. That's pretty nice. You know, we have this nowadays, not nowadays also, the laughing therapy. Laughing therapy. You laugh, and everybody start laughing with you. This is like a help you psychologically. Yeah. You can do it. You did some therapies? I can laugh anyways. But Lord Chaitanya would laugh 3 hours, you know. Just laughing. So, meaning, if you practice Krishna consciousness, we will actually be not only physically healthy, we've got so much dancing and sweating, but we'll be also psychologically healthy, laughing, you know, crying also, well, expressing emotions. We were also talking yesterday, Linz, as devotees, we should not be afraid to express the emotions, because we are humans, we are not robots. Oh, Krishna, consciousness, I once there was one devotee said something, a joke, and the devotee said, Vaishnava never jokes. Sorry, Vaishnava never jokes. Wow, where did you? Do we read the same books? Krishna is my favorite humorous pastimes of all time. Is the fight between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev. This is so funny to me. I laugh every time. When what is his name? Hiranyaksha says, "You amphibious beast, I will, sever your head when I come with my mace," or whatever, very puffed up, And Varahadev was also puffed up. Varaha said, you are like a jackal, and we jungle creatures, we hunt jackals like you. Wow, so cool. I thought it was so funny, Varahadev, so, as they call it, I don't want to say the word is not appropriate in front of the Simadev, but bad, He's very tough, Varahadev. And then Varahadev didn't want to kill him with a weapon, That would be demeaning, take his chakra. He hit him with his hoof. This is so funny to me. He just Hiranyaksha was fighting and he just bam, kick him here under the ear and he just died. Very funny, humorous. So, Vaishnava never jokes. No, Vaishnava jokes. Vaishnava is laughing. Vaishnava is crying. In ecstasy, of course. The Lord forgot his own glories and became absorbed in the mood of a servant. So sometimes when Lord Chaitanya, he expresses these emotions, I am the Master, I am the Lord. As we said yesterday, he was sitting on the altar for 21 hours. And I am Vishnu, I am him. Bring me food. They offer all kinds of offerings. They brought garlands, flowers. And he would, take all this and give blessings. But here, he would say, I am the servant of Vishnu. I am the servant, Says sometimes the Lord would sing so loudly that the sound vibration pierced the covering of the universe. Imagine how loud is this. Ramananda Prabhu, he has a loud voice. But imagine so loud that you can pierce the covering of the universe. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev Ki Jaya. The universe is just cracked, All the Vaitarani river comes down. They have to plaster it, somehow to hold it, not to come because of the powerful voice. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya's body became so heavy as the universe, and nobody could hold him. They were like, oh my God, this is heavy. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya's body will become light like cotton. And he said his followers will carry him on their shoulders. Very light, This is all during the kirtans, by the way, just for your information. So devotees would carry Lord Chaitanya outside on the courtyard. We had this before. I think here also we had a few times. The kirtan became so ecstatic, so we went down to the kitchen. We had a kirtan kitchen, and we take the covering of the pots and like cartels. So this is what they did. They did actually kirtan, and they went out. And there was not enough in the room to have kirtan, but they have to go out. So they went to the yard. They carried Lord Chaitanya because he was light like a cotton. Whenever the Lord would fainted unconscious on the ground due to ecstasy, devotees became frightened because they don't know. Is he dead now? We don't know. Because this is sometimes Lord Nityananda or Lord Chaitanya would jump so high and fall like this on the ground with great noise, bam, and they would not move, and they would, did he die now? What happened, And then they would jump again and start dancing in ecstasy again. So devotees, when Lord Chaitanya would fall on the ground and not moving, they wouldn't know what to do. So they were chanting in his ear, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hope that he get up. It says sometimes the Lord's body will shook vigorously, and his teeth would chatter due to due to excessive cold. Sometimes his body perspired in such a way that it appears that Ganges are flowing from his body. So much sweat. You know, when kirtans gets really fired up, devotees are sweating usually. And Lord Chaitanya was sweating so much that water was coming, like Ganges. Sometimes his body became as hot as blazing fire. So devotees would put sandalwood, sandalwood pulp. Sandalwood makes body cooler. And he said, as soon as they would put sandalwood, it will dry and crack. His body was so hot due to the ecstatic kirtan. This is also funny. Sometimes the Lord would sigh so heavily. And he said when he would sigh, everyone would move because of his breath. He would say like, and everybody's like, when he would do like, everybody's like, swept away by Lord Chaitanya's breath. Hare Krishna. Sometimes, this is also happens to us in kirtan many times. The Lord Chaitanya wanted to catch everybody's feet. Devotees sometimes in kirtan. So devotees, when devotees saw that Chaitanya wants to catch their feet, they run away in fear. Oh my God, Lord Chaitanya wants to take my dust of my lotus feet. Nobody can accept this. So this is the Vaishnava etiquette a little bit here. The devotees don't accept that somebody touches their feet. Especially the higher, if your guru wants to touch your feet, you will never accept it. Or to speak of God wants to touch your feet, you will run away. Sometimes when we go to India, we have a program, so everybody comes, the family, touch their feet. You have to kind of tolerate it, because this is a service, ultimately. In this way they get some benefit, and you transmit the mercy of God through somehow your body. We don't think, oh yes, here, touch, But it's a service, you just tolerate. You just close your eyes and, is it over? It says sometimes the Lord would sit and lean against Nityananda. Sometimes he lifted his feet and looked at everybody and smiled. He would lift his feet like this and show to everybody. So when the Lord would do this, he said, the devotees immediately understood that they came and touched the lotus feet of the Lord. Just as I said now, we shouldn't do this. The Lord actually did this. And Advaita Acharya will say, my dear thief, we have broken into your hidden treasury. As Advaita will say when we touch the lotus feet of Krishna. Let's see. When Lord Vishwambara danced madly, the earth shook and everybody became frightened. Let me cut this a little bit, because there's going on and on and on. There's amazing things what's going on. I think I'll just skip this because it's already 9:06. Sometimes, although Lord's complexion was golden, he appeared in various colors during the kirtan. Sometimes his eyes doubled in size. We have Jagannath, if you have Jagannath, his eyes doubled or whatever, tripled, became. So this all transformations of Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy while dancing in kirtan. On seeing the Lord's ecstasy, the devotees wept as they embraced each other's necks. Oh, Lord is so ecstatic. Devotees also become. All the devotees were decorated with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands as they chanted in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. So this is our tradition, having garlands, having sandalwood pulp, and dancing. And this is the sound of mridangas, wampers, conches, and kartals mixed with the congregational chanting of the holy name. So these are our instruments. This is an instrument directly what Lord Chaitanya, his associate, play in Navadvip. So this is why we play these instruments. Mridangas and Madhura Mridanga Bhaji. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Sweetly Mridanga is playing. The sound of Sankirtan filled the sky and pierced the covering of the universe. All inauspiciousness in the four directions was vanquished. This was not so wonderful, for even the dancing of the Lord's servants, all obstacles are destroyed and the entire world is purified. So not only Lord Chaitanya's dancing destroys all inauspiciousness, the dancing of his servants. So therefore also when we dance in Ratha Yatra, when we go to Harinams, we destroy inauspiciousness, interestingly enough. Not because of us, we are so great personalities, but because the mercy of Lord Chaitanya flows through us, somehow or other. Although we may not understand it, or we may not know, but this is so. So, it's 10:10. I'm yet to start about the holy name now, but I guess we will maybe do it tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll speak, I can connect this, about the glories of the holy name. I wanted to read from the second verse of Shikshashtaka. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. Tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishi tava kripa bhagavana mapi. Durdayam idrsham ihajani nanuragaha. O Bhagavan, Krishna, it is your name that bestows all auspiciousness to the jivas. Therefore, you have distributed your names such as Krishna and Govinda. You have invested all your potencies in those names. Nija Sarva Shaktis. Namnam Akari, Namnam, name, Akari Bahuda, Nija Sarva Shaktis. And you have not created any rules and regulations for remembering them. No rules. Being so kind, you have made your names accessible to the jivas. However, I am so unfortunate that I have, even though your name is so attainable, affection does not arise within my heart. So your holy names are so easily available, so invested with full potency, and yet somehow or other, I don't, take the full advantage of it. So this is the second verse of Shikshashtakam, which we may speak a little bit about tomorrow. Yeah. No, day after tomorrow. What is day after tomorrow? Monday. I don't know. I'm just. You cannot finish. Because when I was making these notes, I was thinking, oh my God, there's so many things to say, and I didn't even say about this. I didn't even say about Lord Chaitanya's taking sannyas. I didn't even say about relationship with Lord Chaitanya's mother. And what to speak of. This is just early Lord Chaitanya's days here. We are not talking of Puri. Puri is a completely different thing. His Ratha Yatras and the Sarabhuvan Bhattacharya. Puri pastimes is. So we need Yuga, as Prabhupada translated, 12 years or more, to actually speak about Lord Chaitanya. And this is only from Bhagavatam. We have it. I was reading also Chaitanya Mangala. There's so many different little details which they are not in Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Then you have Chaitanya Bhagavata. Then you have various prayers of various devotees glorifying Lord Chaitanya, which also revealing some truths through some little details, So there's so much to speak about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyways, at least something. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. If you would maybe even have a question. Quick question. Yes, Sanjaya Prabhu.
Related to the chanting of Hare Krishna, because you said that the name is it's a form of the Lord Himself, and we should experience that. And sometimes my impression is that we are lacking intensity in chanting, and sometimes we even so we depend on. Maybe I shouldn't ask everyone.
No, it's okay.
So sometimes it seems like we want to chant intensely, but we're alone with that.
Sorry?
But we are alone with that. And
what do you mean we are alone with that?
with that desire to chant
Alone in relation to others?
Let's say more wildly or more loudly. Not in a matter of passion. Maybe a matter of passion, I don't know, maybe I'm just coming up from ignorance.
I mean we are alone in relating to the others who are not in the same wavelength. Is this
I don't know anything about wavelengths, but the mood is different maybe, and like what should we do and what should we think?
Well, as I said, one who chants Hare Krishna mantra loudly, in ecstasy, loudly, and not considering for the outsiders. So if you feel ecstatic, you should just be ecstatic. There was this story that Prabhupada was, before he came to the West, that one person went to Yamuna. Prabhupada was living in near Yamuna, beach of Yamuna, and he saw Prabhupada's danda stuck in the sand, and he was playing kartas alone and dancing. So he did not think like, oh, nobody hears, he could not contain himself. This is the nature of the mantra. If you're ecstatic, you cannot contain yourself. When you sing, you cannot sing boring if there's no boredom in your heart, And if you cannot sing ecstatically if you don't have ecstasy in your heart. So whatever you have, garbage in, garbage out. If you're brimming with Krishna consciousness, the Krishna consciousness will come out. There's nothing else can come out. Yes.
There's a difference in chanting ecstatically and chanting annoyingly, because sometimes devotees, they want to pretend, how intense or something like that, and everybody's like, but if somebody really chants with Krishna consciousness, it's very attractive.
Yes.
It's very contagious.
Yes.
So, but if somebody chants with ego just to, show, I'm chanting intensely, then everybody is kind of, maybe I recognize sometimes tendencies like that.
Yes, there is, but at the same time, we should not be fooled by it, because this is, after all, Hare Krishna, Krishna mantra. It is Hare Krishna mantra, I don't want to speak too much about this. Yes, we should not be pretentious. Mityahara. What is this? Mityachara. In the Bhagavad Gita. This is one who professes to be something that he or she is not. This is just a pretender. Of course. So no pretense. And we should also think, once there was a story of, I think it's Vamshidas Babaji in his Bhakti Vikas Maharaj's book. And he was going through, from bank to bank, the river, this river raft. How you call this? Whatever. River raft. And so the person who was, rowing, the person who was sitting on this raft, he started singing some song about Krishna. Some, local folk song. And then the Babaji said to him, I think Babaji started expressing some emotions. And the man looked at him and said, what's happening? And he said, you don't understand. He said, for you, this is just a mundane song. But for me, your words piercing my heart. So, the Mahamantra is not, contaminated by anything.
There's also the story that is, when the snake charm, where Haridas Thakur fainted, and then somebody tried to imitate it, and the snake charmer beat him.
Yeah.
So I did this because
Yes.
Haridas Thakur was genuine.
Yes. Prabhupada also said, if somebody is rolling on the ground, he said, beat him with a stick. If he doesn't complain, that means he's genuine. So next time when you chant loudly, I don't know. Okay, Balaram, he's not strong enough. Somebody stronger.
Don't say it.
Ramananda, who wants to
Then you can check your ecstatic emotions. Anyways, the point is that to be sincere servant of Lord Chaitanya, to sincerely chant, and if you feel like you want to chant loudly, we have to consider we are living in a community. You cannot just walk around, annoy everybody. Oh, I'm ecstatic. Okay, let's see how long you're going to be ecstatic. And usually after 3 days, these people are not ecstatic anymore. So, genuinely serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, it's already late. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jaya, Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jaya, Chaitanya Mangala ki Jaya, Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jaya, Prabhupada ki Jaya.